What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Casper's Kicks. Once again, appreciate y'all for stopping in and checking out the channel. So today for y'all, I have an early review. Well, it's like semi-early because the shoe shock dropped, but it has not officially released yet. So I will be discussing this pair because I was able to hit it on the shock drop. Now, of course, before I show y'all the shoe, I do want to give, I want to applaud Nike because lately when it comes to these holiday releases, we've been getting them after the intended holiday. So for example, like the tartan plaid dunk lows that we got, these came out after Christmas time, and this would have been a great Christmas shoe. So this shoe that I have with me today is the Nike Dunk Low, and this is the Valentine's Day dunk that is set to drop this year. Now, like I mentioned, I want to applaud Nike because we're getting these before Valentine's Day. So if you want to wear them on Valentine's Day, you will have that opportunity with these. So this is the shoe that I'm going to be reviewing, like I mentioned. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. We're going to start off with the box. So you have just the regular Nike Dunk box, nothing too crazy with this one. So to give you all the quick 360 on this, we got the quick 360 there. So yeah. Alright, so moving to the label. The label reads Nike Dunk Low Retro PRM. The color on here is pale ivory, medium soft pink. This is the size 11.5. Retail price on these is $120, and I believe these are supposed to release sometime in February. I don't have the exact release date, but hopefully they release before Valentine's Day. For those that did hit on the shock drop, you will have them for sure before Valentine's Day. Now going to the inside of the box, so you do have one piece of paper, which is, come on, I'm trying to get the box not to fall, but that is this paper right here. So just one piece of paper. And then moving out the way to the rest of the box, so just regular brown on the inside of the box, no stickers or anything on the inside. Alright, so let's go ahead and move to the shoes. So this is, like I mentioned, the Nike Dunk Low Valentine's Day. I'm sure they will have a different name come release date, but as of right now, I'm just calling them the Valentine's Day Dunks for 2023. Alright, so starting off with the outsole, so you do have the regular Dunk outsole, but it is that burgundy on the outsole, and then you see the Nike written in the middle with the swoosh in the middle there. Yeah, so burgundy outsole. I do like the color on this shoe. I think the burgundy is actually pretty nice. Now moving to the midsole, so you do have that ivory colored midsole, which is the same color that you will see on the upper, but we will get to that in just a second. But yeah, ivory all around the midsole. You do see part of the burgundy coming up on the midsole as well from the outsole. But yeah, just wrapping around with that ivory. Now, moving up to the upper, like I mentioned, you do have a couple different colors. You have pink, burgundy, and then you do have that ivory color as well. So starting off at the front, so at the toe box going around, you do see that ivory colored leather going around here. And the ivory leather does have a pretty nice tumble to it, and it is softer. It's a pretty soft leather. Hopefully the camera is able to pick it up, but that does wrap around the front of the toe box. And then it continues around towards the laces here as well. And then as you go back towards the ankle and on the back side of the shoe, you see more there. And then continuing on around the shoe, more of that ivory leather that wraps all the way around. And now, like I mentioned, that is probably the softest piece of leather that is on this shoe is that ivory. Now moving to the top of the toe box, you have a more stiffer leather, which is that burgundy color, but that is on the top there. And then you see the burgundy just goes towards in the laces and on the tongue. So you do have the burgundy laces, no additional laces with this shoe. And then going to around the swooshes, you see the burgundy paneling as well. And that's on both sides. Let me get the camera, there we go. That's on both sides of the shoe, that burgundy color. Now moving to the swooshes, of course you do see the pink Nike swoosh. And they do have a nice tumble to them as well. I think the camera's picking it up there. But yeah, that pink swoosh goes all the way towards the back. And that's on both sides of the shoe. So there's the other side with the pink swoosh. And then if you go to the heel, you do have pink, that pink tab on the back with Nike written out in white. And of course you do see the portion of the swoosh that just wraps towards the back there. And then you do see the burgundy right under that pink tab on the shoe. Now going back towards the tongue, so like I mentioned, you do have a burgundy tongue, but the tongue tag on here is pink with the white Nike logo on there. Get that to focus. But that is on the shoe right there. Look, come on, focus. I think y'all can see it. Alright, so moving to the inside of the shoe, because that is everything on the outside. So these do have a paper shoe tree. Paper shoe tree with these. And then on the insole, let me see if I can pull it out. I don't think I'll be able to pull it out. But you do have a burgundy colored insole with the pink Nike lettering and the size sticker on there as well. And then you do have the burgundy sock liner that wraps around the entire shoe there. Now, production date on these was August 3rd, 2022 to September 14th, 2022. So towards the end of mid-end of last year that these were made. But that is, I believe, everything with this shoe. So I'm going to show y'all the other shoe as well. So this is the other shoe. Give y'all that quick 360 on these. Now, like I mentioned, these did shock drop on the Sneakers app. And I mentioned it, or I talked about it in one of my previous videos that I did. But this was the shoe where we had all the errors, and it was the scratch off, and you scratched, you couldn't scratch. You had to like close the app and come back in, and then the scratch worked. And then when you tried to check out, you getting the error message, and that went on for like 30 minutes. And then finally you were able to actually purchase the shoe. And I entered for these, and like instantly I got the dub after I entered it. So yeah, it was just craziness trying to get this shoe, but I'm glad I was able to get it. This is my personal size, so I will probably end up keeping this, so I have it, I have a shoe to rock on Valentine's Day. But let me know how y'all feel about these. This is a must cop, is it a pass? How are y'all feeling about this year's Nike Dunk Low Valentine's Day? Do you think these are a shoe you could end up wearing for Valentine's Day, or is it something you're just like, I'm not feeling that colorway? So let me know how y'all feel about these. I'm actually very curious to see how people feel about these, especially with how dunks have been over the past couple years. I know people get tired of all the colorways dropping and so forth and so on. So this is just another colorway, but it is a newer colorway. So I'm just curious to see how people think about these. Alright, so moving to a really quick daily lace up, and basically this daily lace up is going to be a bunch of early looks and up close pictures of some shoes that are set to drop later in the year. So starting off, we got a look from Z Sneakerhead, and this is over the 2023 Jordan 5 Craft. And this one is an interesting one. I like the colorway on the shoe. The material almost reminds me of the Jordan 5 Raging Bulls that we got a couple years ago. So I'll be curious to see how these look in person. The laces are slightly different as well. So I feel like these could be a good Jordan 5 to have, but it's going to be one of those that I just need to see in person, and then I'll kind of get my mindset on if I actually want the shoe or not. But release date is set for June 17th, and retail price on those is $210. Now moving to the next shoe, and this is of a Jordan 8, and this is the Jordan 8 Playoffs, which is set to release September 2nd. Retail price $210 on these. I know we have not been getting a bunch of 8s over the past couple years, so we're finally getting the playoff 8s back this year. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in these, especially the OG sneakerheads. I'm sure they will be going for these. I'm curious to see just how well these 8s will do, especially because we just don't get many of them like over time. So I'd be curious to see who all is interested in the shoe, and if the shoe sells out or if it ends up sitting. I feel like I could see it sitting, but you know, just got to wait. Now moving on to a dunk. This is an on-foot look of the Nike Dunk Low Rainbow Trout, courtesy of Site Supply. Now this shoe has some interesting details on here, even like the Nike swoosh behind the Nike swoosh, and then the green looks like it's like a really rough suede on the green portion going around the shoe. I'd be curious to see how this one looks in person. I don't know if like I would get it for myself, but you know, it's a very unique dunk. Y'all know they do some very interesting colorways on the dunk as well. So this holds true to that. You see the trout on the tongue tag as well. A little bit of pink on the back of the ankle. And then on the insole it says Nike Beaverton, established 1972. So another curious one. Like, all these are just really interesting shoes that I'd like to see in person. Now sticking with Jordan, this is a look at the Air Jordan 1 High OG Vibrations of Naja. And this is one I talked about in a couple videos ago, but I think I want these. Like, it's a very different Jordan 1, but the colorway to me is very unique. I like what they did with that, or with this shoe. You got like the white with the cream on here, and then I don't know how to describe the texture or the colorway on the swoosh and around the ankle. I'd be curious to see just kind of what the thought process was behind the shoe, the details behind the shoe, or whatever story Nike has tied to this shoe. But I think I'm going to end up trying to get these for myself. I'd be curious to see what they look like in person. And like I said, I think it's just a very unique Jordan 1, and one that I think would be cool to have in my collection. And then going to the weirdest shoe that I have for y'all today, and this one is also courtesy of Site Supply. And this is the first look at the Drake and Nike Nocta Scuba Slide. Yes, you heard that right, a scuba slide. So just kind of looking at these images, I don't know. This is a very real one. Like, I could see people wearing it, of course, but at the same time, I mean, this one's not it to me. It's not it in my opinion. I mean, it looks exactly like a scuba fin. Like if you're going out scuba diving, this is exactly what you would have on your feet. But it's just in slide version, and it looks just super long. Like your foot doesn't cover the whole slide. I don't know about this one. Like, let me know how y'all feel about this one, especially. Just, I don't know about this Knock the Slide. I feel like, you know, people are going to buy it just because I'm sure it's going to have some hype to it, and it's a crazy looking shoe. But at the same time, I'm just like, this one is not it. But that is all of the early looks I have for y'all. So that is the video. Let me know how y'all feel about the Nike Dunk Low Valentine's Day. And then let me know how y'all feel about the early looks that I showed. Playoff 8s, Vibrations of Niger Jordan 1s. The Dunk Low Rainbow Trout, the Knock the Slides, and then the Jordan 5 Crafts as well. Let me know how I feel about the shoes. As always, go and subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and on the notification bell so you can stay today when I post new content. Look, just watched the Chiefs beat the Bengals, so it's the Chiefs and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Actually looking forward to this Super Bowl. I'm hoping it's a pretty good one. Hopefully the Chiefs can get the dub and get Mahomes another ring, but we just got to wait and see because we got 2 weeks to get there. But as always, hopefully y'all have a great week. It's the start of the week, but hopefully it is a good one for y'all. As always, stay safe and stay blessed, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.